into the online broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans, producing after-shows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows, interviewing celebrities and showrunners, and bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Yes, Brave.
That's brave. Get it, brave.
I love you too, boo. Just dye that hair.
You don't like her hair.
Just dye that hair dark, a little bit darker for me.
Hysterical. Welcome AFTERBUZZ TV. Go ahead, Cortez. Keep singing. Yes. To another R&B Divas LA after show. If you haven't already done so, subscribe to us on our channel on youtube.com/AFTERBUZZ TV. Or check us out on iTunes and SoundCloud. And don't forget to leave a comment. You guys do that already so well.
Yes.
And we appreciate your thoughts and opinions. And your hashtag. Our hashtag is RB Divas. No, ABTV RB Divas LA.
Say it one more time.
ABTV RB Divas LA. No, okay. No LA. Okay, so RB Divas. That's
so
it.
So it's ABTV R&B. Are we using
no
the letter
the N sign, just the RB.
Okay, RB Divas.
That's it.
That's a long hashtag.
I know it's a long hashtag. And I am your girl, Madison Chase, your trainer to the stars and the star in you, and a voice of virginity. And you can find me on Twitter at Madison Chase Fit. And Cortez G. West is back in the house. Where can we find you?
Yeah, this is so weird to do this in the beginning.
I know.
It's so odd. But yes, you can find me on all social media as Cortez G. West. That's on your Twitter, your Instagram, and all of that. And please make sure to also support us on AFTERBUZZ TV as well on all social media as well.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Okay, so this is the reunion show, if you guys haven't figured that out. So I think there's part one, because there's a part two.
Boring.
Cortez, you thought it was boring?
Yeah, it was boring. I was in my phone.
I mean, I like that they kind of showed. I actually watched the reunion from last season because I kind of wanted to see the dynamics. Because I made a comment on one of the. I made a comment about Shantae apologizing just because, you know.
From last season.
Not from last season. I just feel like there is a lot of. If you know somebody don't like you, the best thing for you to do is, especially if you want to stay on the show and you want your paycheck, and obviously they made a comment about the 1%. So,
you said you made a comment about Shantae apologizing on this reunion, not last.
Well, not this reunion, but this past show when she kind of rubbed everybody the wrong way. She didn't go to Palm Springs, and so they kind of feel like she's an outsider. But everybody was like, "What she got to apologize for? Why she gonna apologize?" And I'm like, when you know people don't like you, and/or they feel like you're still trying to, you know, give some shade, then that's the best thing. Like, let's try to figure out why we have an issue. But I guess it's kind of hard because why do they have an issue with Shantae? And I tried to watch the reunion from the other show. I'm like, why do they not like Shantae? Do you know?
It's not that no one would know. Only person that would know is them. The thing is, I just kind of feel like Shantae is at a point to where she doesn't really care. And the only thing is, it really starts from, I know Stacey was on the show with us, but I think it really stems from Stacey, because Stacey was the only one that had the problem with her. And I think
no, Lil Mo had a problem with her
right,
too.
But it didn't get to the fact where Lil Mo had to agree, or she didn't have someone else to cling on with. You know what I'm saying?
I got you.
When she have that energy, right? When she have that, we can both, you know, go against Steven. You know what I'm saying? But I cannot like him and you not understanding. You're like, well, what's going on? So that's what was going on between Lil Mo, and everyone else. So she can deal with people. And Lil Mo, she says that. She was like, I can work with you, but I don't have to deal with you. And just like she said, we can work on this song at the House of Blues, but she didn't say that until everyone was like, okay, we don't want Shantae on the show, on the song. And
then she was like,
she went up. Now, I'm not just saying that like Lil Mo cannot stand up for herself, or she cannot, you know, do whatever. She just goes with the flow, and she doesn't want the energy. She doesn't want the drama. So I think that Stacey was the first and foremost one to really bring it up.
Very outspoken.
And be outspoken about everything.
Everything.
And it kind of like brought that energy to everyone saying, okay, yeah, man.
I don't like Shantae. Yeah. Okay.
Well, I don't think they don't like her. I just think that they don't like the things that she does and how nonchalant she does it. It's as if she doesn't have to explain herself, and she does not.
But the thing, this is a reality show, so nobody really has to explain themselves. Even though, they talked about, let's talk about the reunion show. So they open up with Stacey. She does an introduction for everybody and saying, hey, and, she asked Brave to kind of introduce herself and tell her about her background. And she was I'm from rich girls. No, I'm just going from the top. But then,
right, so we're going to skip Wendy?
No. Wendy, I think she looks beautiful. She looks absolutely. What you don't like? What? Oh, okay. I'm not sure why Cortez just made that face, but no, I like what Wendy said. Wendy was like, "Stacey, she's like, you give good TV," and Stacey was like, "Oh, thank you." And Wendy was like, "No, I don't mean that in a good way." So for all you people who left the thumbs down when you saw Stacey Francis on the show,
y'all let me. I thought y'all was talking about me.
Yeah, they let me have it too. I was like, I do not want to get caught up in the Stacey Francis tornado. Like, I don't want to get in it. Like, I'm just trying to do my job and talk about the show. And I'm sick today too. So, yeah, I was like, she let her have it. But only Wendy could say that because she was like, no, and I don't mean that in a good way. I was like, shade. She let her have it.
But out of anyone, Stacey would be the first one that they would know for a fact. They know for sure that she's coming back next season.
Absolutely, because she brings the drama. And Little Mo, you're right. I think she is the kind of person where she will jump on the bandwagon. And now that
she feels that it's right. Or
if it's the person that's the biggest and most outspoken. And Stacey is the biggest. Like you saw when the show first opened, Wendy couldn't get a word in edgewise. Like there was a whole conflict. She was going in, and it was a little disrespectful because I'm like, the purpose of doing a reunion show and doing a talk show is to be able to hear each other. So you can't jump. She literally jumped over and over talked everybody, Chrisette, Shantae, Wendy, like everyone. Pretty much everybody except for Little Mo, because Little Mo was kind of like saying, "Okay, calm down." You could see her kind of touching her. So she would listen to her, but I was like, you were doing too much, Stacey Francis. But yeah, so that was my take. What was your take on everybody's intro and the shade that Wendy gave her at the very beginning? Like you kind of knew where it was going.
I give it up to Wendy, and Wendy, just as well as I was going back on the comments from when Stacey was on the show. In this career, there are different type of hosts. There are different type of people, and you can do certain things when you get to a certain kind of level.
Yep.
Here at AfterBuzz, we're not here to, point down at anyone or disrespect anyone or do anything of that nature. And I was not going to sit there, and be someone that I'm not.
Right.
Because I'm not that type of person to say, well, you this and you that and that. The whole point of bringing someone on the show is, like the reunion should be, is to allow them to give their side of the story. And we all know there are 3 sides to every story. There's their side, the other person's side, and the truth.
I'd say 5 sides, and their perspective and your perspective. Because, that's always 2 completely different things.
Right. And don't get me wrong, guys. The comments that they were saying of that, Cortez, you did this, and you should have said this, and you should have said she was wrong, da-da-da-da. She's not a diva, and blah, 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 blah. My whole thing with here, and it's not just me, the whole thing here at AfterBuzz is we don't bring a guest on to make them feel uncomfortable.
Yeah.
We would never do that. But my whole thing of what Wendy is able to do that because she has that platform. So when she did that to Stacey, that's why Madison and I went up. Because we were like, oh, okay, yes, because we can't do it,
Right.
We can't
Wendy
do
said it.
So it's at a point to where you just have to know your place in your career. And I want to continue my career. And I also want to have genuine supporters. I don't believe in fans. I want genuine supporters to not only follow me, but AfterBuzz TV.
Right.
But as far as all of the introductions, Brave, she was just she didn't really say anything. She was like, Brave, how are you? And she was just like, oh, I'm great. And she was like, what did she say? She said something about...
She was like, you're playing it safe. You're playing in the middle. And she is. She's trying to stay on the show. It's almost like Survivor. Mm-hmm. When you're on Survivor, you have to watch people. And she said that. She was like, I'm just understanding people's dynamic and how they operate. And you have to do that when you're new to a group. And even though it isn't a singing group, it's a group of young women on a show. And so you have to kind of understand, okay, how does she get down? Okay, let me watch. And that's how Survivor operates. Otherwise, you get kicked off the island or you get kicked off the show.
Well, I agree with you on that, but at the same time, when it comes to Brave has a. I still don't know who Brave is after all these episodes.
Even with the rich girl, she did a song with Fabulous.
That ain't the point. Okay. What I'm saying is this is a reality show. All I know is she did a video. I wasn't in it. Then she,
that's really what's bothering you,
Cortez. She can sing and she can rap, and her hair color is the same color her skin. That's all I know. So I wanted to know more about Brave because she's very beautiful. Don't get me wrong.
Right.
But it's like I know she's more than that. And then now to find out that she can paint, she's very creative. Artist, and I see why Warren was so into her. And as you can see during her performance at the House of Blues, Warren was in the crowd like, yeah, like. I'm feeling this girl. Yeah. So I just wanted to know more of Brave. In playing that safe mode, you're acting like Cynthia from Housewives.
Yes.
Like you almost are on that edge. You can be on the edge of getting ready to not be on the show. Yeah.
Yeah, but I think she's playing it smart because this is her first season and she want to come back next season. So she's trying to figure out who can I align with that's going to be on the show. And she already knows it's not Stacey Francis because Stacey Francis is not going to have no friends on the show because she's going to be the person that starts the mess. Because that's why she's brought on the show. Go ahead. Who do you think?
You know who would have been great on this show?
Who?
If it wasn't for Brave. If it wasn't Brave.
Who?
You know what? Never mind. I can't take that back because I just thought about the name of the show.
Who are you?
Tiara Marie.
Tiana
Marie. Yeah.
I think you're right. You're so right.
But when I think of Diva, I'm just like, well.
She could sing. Have you seen her sing a cappella? I'm sorry. I got excited.
You must didn't see the season of Love and Hip Hop Hollywood.
Tiana, she was on the show.
Is it Tiana Marie?
No,
you guys let me know if I'm saying the right person.
I thought it was Tia Marie.
Tia Marie, right?
Okay, I don't know her, but there's a girl named Tiana. Let me see, Tiana Taylor. If y'all know who I'm talking about.
Yeah, Tiana Taylor. Yes, Tiana Taylor can sing. But
that's what
she's not. I'm talking about. She's not on that diva status yet. I'm talking about someone who had hits from when Shantae was making hits and when Limo was making hits, which was Tiara Marie. She's not on Love and Hip Hop, and I feel like even though she was on Love and Hip Hop, I'm just saying like if she did not exist on Love and Hip Hop, the way I've seen her on Love and Hip Hop, she would have been great on R&B Divas.
But I disagree with you with Tiana Taylor, just because at least with Tiana, she was writing for people. Yeah, she was writing for people. She's been in the industry, in the game for a minute. She's been behind the scenes, kind of like, Kanye West and who else was that? They were writing for people and then they kind of came out. Kendrick Lamar, I think, is the same way. I don't really know music, but I kind of know about them. But Tiana Taylor is kind of the same way, and she could really sing. Like she would have been... and I don't know if she would have done a TVOne show because she got 1.8 million followers on Instagram. I follow her.
I'm not saying that she would have not been good. I'm just saying out of between those two, I would have definitely went with Tiara Marie. But I just wanted to know. I hope Brave comes back next season and give us her.
Yeah, and I think she really didn't have an opportunity because the dynamics were Stacey and Shantae. Shantae and Stacey and Shantae and Little Mo, Shantae and Leela, and then Stacey and Michelle A. Like Stacey was kind of like, everything kind of spun a web around her. Like she was kind of like the puppet master, unfortunately or fortunately, but yeah.
The thing is with Stacey is that we talking about her.
Now we're talking about her.
We're talking about her.
Because Wendy gave... Yeah, that's true.
This period. And whether she's the villain or she's an angel, we're talking about her.
Yeah. But it's interesting that Wendy would say she gives good TV, but she said, I don't mean it in a good way.
Just said the same thing about Kenya Moore.
But I think the difference between Kenya and Stacey is that Kenya knows how to Kim Kardashian it.
That is so true.
She knows how to be like, twirl it out, girls. You're not gonna touch me. Don't touch me. Like she knows how to soften it up. Stacey's kind of like, you're not assume. Hey. That's Stacey. Okay. So she knows how to like Kenya, and then Kenya, if Kenya is a beautiful girl. Not that Stacey is not pretty, but Kenya is like aesthetically pleasing, more aesthetically pleasing. I think people like that look more than they do like Stacey. Because you accept kind of like the dude that got arrested from Long Beach, and he became like this hit sensation, and he had like, it was like his mugshot, but because he was good looking, people like, oh my God, he is so, like, who is looking at mugshots for cute people. But it just shows you where our society is, where just because somebody looks good, we'll take certain things from them. And I think because Kenya looks a certain way and her delivery is a little bit softer and sweeter and more demure than Stacey, in your face, she ready to fight, she ready to pop off Brooklyn. Yeah, whatever it is. But yeah, so I think that's the difference. So they really talk about Chrisette Michele, and I really want to know that story. So Chrisette says at the beginning that Stacey came to her, I don't know if this was before the show, and she was like, Stacey waved to me and said, I just want to let you know I'm going to come for Shantae and I'm going to come for Michelle. I
thought it was Lil Mo.
No, it was Michelle. I wrote it down.
Oh, okay.
Y'all correct us if we're wrong, but I'm pretty sure that it was.
I thought she said Shantae and Mo.
Because her and Mo were, friends. Like, they knew each other. So they kind of would, even at the...
Well, why would she come from Michelle? Michelle doesn't, like...
I don't know. I have no idea. And I'm really trying to figure out. And I love what Shantae said to Stacey about her marriage. She let her have it. She was like, stay out of my life. Like, I was married to that man for 11 years. And not once did you come to my house.
Well, we asked her that. Well, I asked her that on the show, and I asked her. I said, "Well, you said you have been friends with Kenny for 18 years." Mm-hmm. And I asked her. I said, "Well, have you had any encounters with Shantae?" And like, I don't. There's no way that I would have a friend for 18 years and not know their wife. Then they get married and not really know their life. Yeah. I mean, their wife, because that means I've gone to the wedding. That means I go to events.
True. You
that means we've gone to that. Yeah. So go back to that. To that review show and to see what she says in that, because I mean, yeah, I asked her. So,
and that's just interesting too. Like, one thing you don't ever do is get in between somebody's marriage and or have an opinion about somebody else's marriage. Because I could have an opinion about you and your relationships, but unless I know you intimately, I would never even share it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
well, that's what she felt. She feels as if she knew Kenny. Let me stop defending Stacey, because y'all. I'm about to lose all my Instagram followers.
They like unfollow. They gonna cuss you out.
But no, I just like what's right is right and what's wrong is wrong. And I'm very big on, like, when someone gives them their size and they understand something. Right. Or if I understand it, then great, I get that. But I still have my faults of asking her, like, well, why? What made it? Did Kenny say to you, go out there and defend me? You know what I'm saying? Did y'all have that conversation? Because I asked her that too, and I can't remember her answer. But I asked her, I said, did Kenny talk to you? I said, have you talked to Kenny? Did Kenny say, Stacey, next season or whatever, you don't have to defend me. Like, it's not that serious. I know, because we're friends and you love me, you care. Yeah. And even if she is lying, let her have it. Yeah. Let her have it.
But I think it makes for a good storyline. Not a good one, because it makes Stacey looks like the crap starter. It makes her look like, oh, I'm trying to keep some stuff going because, with the play and, her one-woman show and Stacey going to her like right before and having this attitude as if Kenny had said something to her like, yeah, you let her have it before she goes on. Like, it was just... It's unnecessary. And I get it, because I have a friend right now and I don't really like her husband. And I found myself distancing myself from her because I don't like her husband. And she's, and I think part of the problem is too, it'd be different if Kenny and Stacey were friends and Kenny was coming to her and say, yeah, Shantae, she did da-da-da-da-da. And I don't think that was the case, because if you never went to their house in 11 years... Y'all not really friends like that. Like, my friend, I go to her house all the time. I see her all the time, and she feels comfortable enough to share stuff with me that I'm like, I don't want to hear about him because I don't really like your husband. And I can't say that because she's my friend, and I risk not being her friend because she's decided to choose this trifling, sorry, good-for-nothing man.
I do believe that Kenny did have conversations with Stacey. If they're truly friends, because I was like, Kenny have never come out via social media and said anything. Thank you, Stacey. That Stacey is my friend or anything. He never said anything. So that's at this point, I can't say that Stacey is lying or anything of that nature. My thing is, you can't really. I do believe that Kenny did go to Stacey at some points. And, you don't have to come to my house. We can be. There are different type of friends in your life. I've had friends that have never been to my house, and we have a good time. Some friends are fun to hang out with, and some are whatever.
I don't know about that. That's some LA friendships.
Oh no. That is very. It's a saying that I have it on my Instagram. It says, everyone is not your friend. Some bitch is just fun to hang around.
I got you, but I guess I operate differently because if you can't come to my house, we ain't friends.
Well, my house ain't always clean, so that's why I just
That's a whole other story.
But yeah, I do think that Kenny has maybe shared some things with her if they were friends of that nature, because Kenny hasn't even come out and said that, you know, they're not friends.
Right.
So...
And he probably just don't even want to get involved. Yeah, he don't even want to get involved. Like he's probably like he just recently did a play for a friend of mine. It was a really good play. I think it was called, I don't know the name of the play, Love something. Nadine Ellis was in it. Kelly Jenrette, a whole bunch of people, really great actors. But he actually, you know, helped her produce this play. And it was a great play. And so he spoke. And so I just got a really good feeling like he's a nice guy. And so I could see him not wanting to even put himself in the middle. And if you notice on most reality shows, except for Peter on The Real Housewives of Atlanta, most of the men are not trying to get in the drama, except for Apollo, because he can't, you know, that's a whole other story.
He cannot. Some people are just built to just like always be in the drama. They don't even have to say anything or do anything. They just built to be always in the middle. And Apollo is one of those persons. Let's go to Chrisette, because you was going to go to Chrisette about something.
We could talk about the rest of Chrisette's stuff. She talks about her label, and so Wendy specifically asked her, did you leave the show because of Stacey Francis? Now, here's where I love Chrisette Michele. I think she's gorgeous. I think she's beautiful. I think she's super talented. I love and adore your brother and how you're dealing with him, and you decided to protect him, to say, you know what, I don't want him on the show. And that's kind of what she said. She was like, I don't want my brother to be around Stacey. And then when she was talking about Stacey Francis at Michelle's birthday party. And then you see another example of Stacey kind of still talking to Michelle at the cancer event fund. So I get where Michelle was thinking. I mean, Chrisette was like, if this is how you antagonize Michelle, and then she said something, Chrisette said that Stacey said to her after her artist, her background singer, performed, like, oh, you did all right. And I can't say that I can't see Stacey Francis saying that for whatever reason. Maybe she wanted to add some more drama, but Chrisette was like, I am going to protect my family. And if it means me not being on this show to get you away from my family, because if this is how you kind of antagonize. And Stacey vehemently was like, no, I didn't. I wasn't even, I was trying to help Michelle. And she did come to her defense when they were talking about her being on drugs, and when Michelle went off and went to the restroom.
We don't know if it's something that's, you know, it's like we have to be a little bit sensitive.
I like that Stacey said that. I was like, I'm glad you're saying that, because don't be talking about her. But at least they did bring it up again, and I was glad that they did that again. Like, don't be talking about her, because she gonna watch the reunion show and she gonna see that y'all were talking about her. So bring it to her face.
Yeah, I don't think Wendy was trying to hide that they was talking about her. I just think
she was, because she was like,
no. Yeah. I just think it's the worst thing to walk into a room.
I got you.
Yeah, so I think Wendy was just like, wait. And then she was gonna bring it up. So I don't think, you know, Wendy. Definitely don't think Wendy's that type of person to hide anything. But with Chrisette, with her leaving the show, I grew a lot more respect for her.
Oh, totally.
At the same time, I was still. It's almost like the Jasmine Sullivan type situation. How she left the industry because, you know, of how the music industry of what she's experienced.
Entertainment.
You know, and she was not. She was like, okay, I don't need this, you know?
Right.
I really don't. I love to sing.
Is she
I love
married?
my art. I'm not sure.
Okay.
I love my art, but I don't have to be here. And I think that's what Chris said was pretty much the same scenario. I don't have to be here.
Right.
I do this because maybe I wanted to do something interesting, but I see that it was bringing negativity into my life.
Yep.
So if I witness something that's just like your mother says, you don't touch the hot stove and you touch it anyway. And you saw that it was hot, you still touched it.
But you still want to do what you want to do.
So I think that's the same thing that she was just like, you know, well, I'm not going to deal with someone who's going to continue to, you know, talk to me like this or be rude or disrespectful. You know, even if it is for television, you know, I'm not going to do that.
I wonder if, because I wanted her to ask her if she said, I don't know if it was something that was written or something that was said, that Chrisette called Stacey the devil. Was that actually on the show? And that's why she left?
I think she was like, on the show, guys.
Yeah, she was like,
let us know. But I really think it was on the show. I think it was in the, what do they call the things when they sit the
confessional.
Confession. I think it was in the confession. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay. So I was waiting for Wendy to ask her that if she said that Stacey was the devil or they hired the devil. I'm like, man, that's such a.
I wonder if Wendy knows if she's gonna host the show before it ends, like way before it even.
I'm sure she.
Because she was like, I watched the show, and she was giving her side of how she felt when Michelle would show up later, not show up at all. She was like, I was pissed. Yeah. I was mad.
Yeah. Especially if you're holding up production. But I think on the other hand, you have to realize, like, we do not know how to deal with people who have emotional issues. We don't. Black, white, Asian, whatever your nationality is, we typically don't know how to deal with people who are dealing with emotional issues, suicidal issues, stress, whatever life looks like for some people. We don't know how to deal with it. And I do applaud them for trying to at least bring it out on the show. And she did seem like she was more together on this particular show. She didn't seem like she was so loopy or out of it.
But she was very outspoken. I love the fact how the young lady asked her the question, what was her most embarrassing moment on stage? And she told the truth.
She sure
did. That was horrible.
It was bad, Michelle. It was bad. And I'm not even a singer. I was like, oh, I could do that. Ooh,
it was the House of Blues. I gotta say, it was the House of Blues. I was not in my mind. I was not in my right mind. And I was not there.
That's a very good Michelle Cortez. Can you do anybody else on the show? Can you do Lil Mo?
All I gotta do is just talk in my regular voice. That's Lil Mo. That's Lil Mo.
That is terrible. Let's see what else happened on this. Cortez, you had me cracking up. You're like, this is boring.
Yeah, it was quite boring, guys. And correct me if I'm wrong. Well, no, I'm not wrong. It's just my opinion.
It's your opinion.
It was, guys. I was like really sitting there, like there were moments, but I'm guessing that Love and Hip Hop Atlanta have like surpass reunions. So it's like you expect for things to get out, and then especially now that Chrisette was like gone for the last couple of episodes, I really wanted to hear what she had to say. And I'll be honest with you, Stacey really did make her look like a liar, but at the same time,
you think she made her look like a liar?
Because you know how sometimes when people are arguing, it's like whoever's the loudest or the biggest, you think that they're telling the truth because they're more emotional. I'm so sorry about that. So that's why I was like, wait, no, I cannot picture Chrisette lying, but I also cannot picture Stacey saying, "Girl, you did all right," because I know she is a very good advocate for people, for singers in the arts. So I'm just like,
you talking about Stacey?
Stacey, yeah. When they were saying that Stacey said that when she off stage, she said it was all right. The performance was all right.
I would have to go back and watch that episode because again, I can't see, and then maybe Chrisette is justifying the reason why she left the show. And if that was just a slight little dig on Stacey, because maybe she did say that, who knows? Because Stacey was brought on to bring some drama, and what better way to bring some additional drama when you know you rubbed somebody the wrong way? And I think that was the issue that Chrisette had with her even having a conversation with Michelle. And you could see it at the beginning of the season when Stacey had a conversation with Michelle. Like, that was the first time we saw Michelle. She was like, Lil Mo don't need no defense attorney, no prosecuting attorney. Like, she let her have it. She
can talk to me.
I'm right here.
Right. She was like, I don't need you to talk through her or for her. Like, I could talk to her. So I think if you already know you rub somebody the wrong way, like, you just need to distance yourself. And even if it is good television, that's one line I would not cross if I were Stacey. Because it's just like you could push her over the edge. You know what I'm saying? Especially when you see, like, when she came in for the cancer event, that she was like kind of a little out of it. Like, she was a little loopy. And I wouldn't push that barrier. So yeah, you may have stood up for her on the show, but you need to be mindful of her and her feelings towards you. Now, maybe they'll change. I don't know, but you could see on this episode, and maybe it was the way they edited, that she really does not want to even talk to Stacey, especially when she's kind of emotional and unstable. She don't even hear Stacey's voice because she does kind of have a very loud, aggressive, in your face.
Very at you,
and it puts you on the defense. And I don't think Stacey made Chrisette look like a liar. I think Chrisette was trying to compose herself like a lady, and Stacey looked crazy to me because she was over. You don't overtalk the host. That's like overtalking Oprah. I mean, even though Wendy is not Oprah, but I'm saying you don't overtalk the person that is hosting this reunion show. It's just inappropriate. And I get that, you want to get your side of the story in, but there's a part 2. Save your comments.
I don't think Chrisette personally left because of Stacey. I just think that added to it. I wish she would have not left, because you can film a reality TV show and not be in the scene or around
with
her
the other person
that you have that negativity with.
Yeah.
I just think that maybe she had some kind of other, you know how some people have a cake and then when she put the icing on the cake, that's just it for them.
Yes.
And I think that was what Chrisette was pretty much got to the point. It was kind of like, this reality TV show is not me. It's not really me. I'm doing this because of my fans, or whatever the case may be. But at the same time, you just came out with your own record label. That I kind of feel like that show was the platform for that.
Absolutely, I feel
because
like
I really wouldn't. I don't think we would have really been involved into it or really, know about it if it wasn't for the show or even bringing it up. And she's very good at doing her plug-ins. Chrisette, you're very good at that, because when she asked her about her brother,
she Limbs Pain. I was gonna try to look it up.
She went straight in on giving all her plugs, and she practiced that. Chrisette, you practiced that, but she went straight in on giving like all the plugs about her brother and everything, and how his son's on the radio now, which is pretty dope. Congratulations, Lim.
Yeah.
So I hope he's working out the bipolar thing. I'm with him on the whole medicine thing, I must say. She did say, guys, that her brother is not into taking medicine. And I'm with that. I'm with that on that. With me, and you would be too, as being health coaches, it's like, stay away from it as much as you can. So I really appreciate the fact that he's finding other aspects, of dealing with his bipolar. Yeah, because I thought I was bipolar at one point.
But you know what? That's such a loosely. That's like I told somebody about lactose intolerant. I'm like, come on now, people.
You just had some bad milk.
You're right. Not even that, Cortez. But do you know, like back in the day before they came up with lactose intolerant, people and cows were given grass, what they're supposed to eat. And corn, as we know, for us as people, and I think cows have 3 or 4 stomachs, they can't digest corn. Like
no one can.
No one can. So why would you give cows corn as feed? Because it's cheap. That's the reason why. And
it's fast grown.
And it's very cheap. But that's part of it too. But that's when they came up with lactose intolerant, because now your body is reacting to this milk that's different. You know what I'm saying? And it's not necessarily the milk. It's that instead of the FDA saying, oh yeah, by the way, we decided to give cows corn, and so we're going to come up with something called lactose intolerant. So now y'all got to take some medication because we decided to change the milk. We changed the milk because we changed what cows actually eat now.
Oh, so I thought you was giving that scenario because of you were going to say that people use the word bipolar.
No, I'm not saying that. I just think
loosely.
No, I don't think people use that word loosely, because I don't know anybody who is bipolar. But why would you think that you were bipolar?
It's more so because as an only child, and that's probably with him, he felt as an only child because of Chrisette and her career, and she's never home.
He did
she's
say
all
that.
and attention is all about Chrisette. So I think it comes along with being alone a lot, and I can tell that he was alone a lot because their mother was all about Chrisette at the time. Chrisette was the breadwinner.
Yeah.
Chrisette was bringing in, making sure the family was a whole, and I think it comes from the fact of with me. Was never really having anyone around that I felt because a lot of people say I hate when you say certain things, Cortez, because I was there for you. You know what I'm saying? You didn't come to me. I didn't feel like I could come to you for certain things.
Okay.
So I hate when people say, you say how you feel about something and they're in their feelings, so they feel like, well, wait, that's my brother. We're good friends. He could have come to me. No, it's not. It's not that. Sometimes you do need that person outside of your life.
Right.
That you can go to, and I don't think he didn't have that. So at one point,
I would try
to hold my feelings. Lord Jesus, I'm bipolar. At one point, I would try to hold my feelings, but it would come out. Right, it would come out, and people would just be like, "What the heck is wrong with him?"
But do you think that, I really think that is what people do? Because we love to be politically correct about certain things, and we don't want to offend people because we don't want to, not risk somebody not liking us because we're actually stating the truth. So I think that that's how society has kind of evolved. That, if you look at some of the stuff that people say on social media and some of the things that people say and then they get chastised for just because they're stating an opinion. You know what I'm saying?
So I definitely, since you said that, I definitely like the fact on how Michelle A. Responded and react to how, when she came back from the restroom and everyone was talking about how she may have been on drugs, as far as not like drugs like cocaine or anything like that, but medicated drugs.
She said dark liquor.
Or alcohol or anything like that. And because
what does dark liquor smell like?
It's a very distinct smell.
Okay,
you can tell when you smell dark liquor, it's dark liquor.
Okay, that's Hennessy.
Yeah, Hennessy, maybe not Jack, but Hennessy, Don Marion, rum, so. But dark liquor, you can really rum is not dark. You can really hear it. I mean, you can really smell it. Okay. And even from Michelle A., even from Lil Mo saying that, I used to be a drug addict. I used to be on drugs. I used to be that. Right. So I know when I smell it, I got that. I just love the fact on how Michelle A. took it and responded in a way where, no, I'm not on drugs, and I'm not this. Yep. I take this is for that, and and I'm working on me. Yep. And the first thing to get past your difficulties in life is to accept it. So kudos to Michelle A. to accept it and doing it on television. Yeah, and
I applaud her for even. It's one thing to air your dirty laundry with your friends, and then your friends and family have an opinion about it, but it's a whole other thing to do it on television. So I definitely applaud her for going through such this is probably a hard time for her. And when they talked about her not having a car, I'm like, wait, Suge Knight is and I love that they said that. They were like, wait a minute, Suge Knight is your baby daddy? And isn't Dr. Dre one of her other baby daddies?
Are you asking?
I'm asking. Do y'all know?
I don't want to put nobody's baby on nobody's dad.
I'm going to Google that.
So I don't know. So I definitely don't want to do that.
No, but I thought, because they said she had two. I'm going to look it up, but we could keep talking. But
if you don't stop sniffing,
I'm sorry. We're going to have to get some Lysol for this one. But Chrisette's brother, since we'll go back to Michelle A. and the baby daddy. Lim Payne, that's his name. I thought she was saying Lim's Payne, like P-A-I-N, like his pain. But it's L-E-M-P-A-Y-N-E. And the name of his song is called Twisted, featuring Gark Bars on YouTube. So, yeah, that's Lim. So, yeah, I do applaud Michelle A. for really standing up for herself and really... Like she needed to do that. And she squashed all of the rumors. Like, no. And she was like very sound and straightforward. Like, no, I'm not.
Well, that's her singing voice, period. She's going to be in that tone always. I love the fact that she
I wish she would have did that other singing voice. And she was like, no, I'm not. I would have loved for her to go into that voice. Right. Like, stop playing with me. This is going to be the last time.
And I love the fact that she... is accepting the fact of how she deals with her brother in her everyday life. She's learning how to deal with a Stacey because of her brother. She's learning how to, because all of her brother is probably all of their personalities on that stage.
You talking about Chrisette?
Chrisette's brother.
Yeah.
Is probably she's seen that in her brother, so she knows how to deal with a Stacey and know a little more. And everyone, I kind of hate that this part one of the reunion, Leela James was pushed back a little bit, or not pushed back, but she was like very to herself. And maybe because this is the part one and they haven't really got into, a lot of her scenes or anything of that nature. But I definitely want to say also that with R&B Divas this season 8, you guys have really done a good thing with promoting the causes of cancer and prevention of that. And even with, Chrisette's brother with bipolar, like everyone showed how something can be a part of someone's life and you wouldn't even think about it. Just because it's not you with cancer or your close relative doesn't have cancer doesn't mean that there's no one around you that's not dealing with it.
Yeah. So and I think that's just in life in general. Like, one thing I've learned is that you never know what somebody else is going through. Ever. You don't ever know. And so that's why I'm really careful with how I give constructive criticism and feedback and my personal opinion, because I'm not walking in your shoes and I'm not sitting in your, your space and whatever you're having to deal with. So I Googled R&B Divas Michel'le baby daddies, and it said that her baby daddy is Dr. Dre and Suge Knight. So correct me if I'm wrong. But I would think between the both of them, didn't he sell Beats by Dre to Apple?
There's no telling what the relationship of how Michel'le left them. Michel'le was probably going through a moment. No, yeah. You know what?
They got married in California.
No.
And that's California's a different kind of state.
No, I was going to say, we don't know how Michel'le reacted towards them. She probably was going through her moments and left a bad taste in their mouth. But then again, I was like, well, no, if that's their child, then you, want to
take care of your child.
And we don't know if Michel'le is not even, allowing them to. You know what I'm saying? So that hey, you have to look at that. She's on television. She has a place to say how she feels. They don't. Or they're not going to do that.
But even still, being the father to a child, like legally, you can, especially with the money that they have, you could make her give you some visitation rights.
Suge Knight has money?
Not Suge Knight. I'm saying okay. Dr. Dre with his Beats by Dre that he sold them to Apple.
For billions.
He got money. He got lots of money.
Well, we don't know if he got it all at once. It's like the lottery.
I don't care. He could buy her a Prius or something.
Oh, not a Prius.
I'm saying it's good on gas. A Tesla. She would always be there on time.
So let me ask you guys this. I want to ask you guys this. How did you all feel when Wendy asked Brave, do you think that you are a diva?
Oh, she asked her that?
Yeah.
And what did she say?
I don't think we even got the answer. I don't know if that was a preview or if I'm just thinking of things, because I do recall that. And then she also asked her, do you think that Chrisette is a liar? And she says, no, I've never known her to lie. And then she asked her, well, do you think Stacey's a liar? She was like, well, I'm like you. I'm trying to get the tea like you. But the reason why I'm asking you guys that, because you just said something about you don't like to be the person to be in the middle or try to cause confusion or trying to make it seem like you're in the midst.
Right.
And I kind of feel like that was with Brave. And the reason why I'm asking that is because this is in part one, reunion part one.
Right.
So I'm just trying to figure out this thing with Brave. Like, I noticed how...
I think when you're new to any situation, and I think Bam mentioned this too, he was like, she's playing it safe. She want to make sure that season 3, this is season 3, the next season 4, she want to make sure she on the show. And I also think that even with, Real Housewives of Atlanta, there's another show on, I think it's on Oxygen, Blood, Sweat, and Heels. Like everybody, because that show was so popular, Real Housewives of Atlanta, every network is looking for the next Real Housewives of Atlanta. And you could even see with Demetria and Claudia Jordan, they're bringing younger girls in to create some kind of drama. So I think Brave is not going anywhere. If anything, they might bring somebody else in. I think you have to learn how to play your role. And even with Shantae, like as much as I think she's beautiful and she's talented and she should, I think she just needs to learn how to play the game. Watch Kenya Moore and learn how to start some mess up with, go back at Stacey. Let her have it. Some stuff about her, let her have it. You know what I'm saying?
No.
I'm saying do it in a Kenya Moore kind of way. Don't let Stacey run you off the show. And that's essentially what she's trying to do. She probably watched, I'm sure, all of the seasons before. And you could see when I watched the reunion show from last season, she brought the pink elephant in her bodyguard. And I was like, oh, okay. And you could see that they were already throwing shade against her already. There was already some shade and some tension. And
I just don't understand why. Even if Stacey is mad at Shantae because of the situation of what she knows from what maybe Kenny may have been telling her and what she knows or what she thinks she knows about their relationships. What is up with everyone else though? Is what I don't get. You know what I'm saying?
The issue with her.
Maybe she's that type of person that you have to be around for you to just be like, oh, I can't stand her. She gets me that she was one of those girls in high school that no girl liked. And she was pretty, she was talented, and no girls liked her. And on the outside of us looking in, it looks like girls don't like her because she's beautiful and she's talented.
Right.
But I really think there's something else that may be, You know, I don't know. Have you guys, or you ever had that moment of as a female, in this girls in school that they just did not like you, and you was like, why y'all don't like me?
You know what it is? I think as women, especially women of color, we have so many things that divide us. We have sororities, and that's kind of based on skin color. You light skin, you dark skin, you this. And so we still have all of that stuff to contend with. So now we see it on a show where it's kind of like you don't really see any women like really embracing each other and really trying to motivate each other. And Chrisette kind of talked about it a little bit where she said, you know, I've met women like Patti LaBelle, and I don't know who else she said. I just remember Patti because I adore and love her, and I think she's incredible. But I think as women, we're socialized, especially black women, we're socialized to compete with stuff like, oh, you got nice hair. Ooh, you light skin. Ooh, you know, all of that stuff. So I don't know if that's it. And part of it is we're just socialized to not like each other and like really build each other up. And so Chrisette mentions that like I was expecting Shantae to be more of like, you know, someone to lift me up and to, you know, support me because she is someone that's been in the industry for 20 years. But I just think even with that, like the way you pay honor to and tribute to the people who came before you, you have to do that too. Like on my website, I paid honor and tribute to the people that came before me in fitness. You know what I'm saying? But we're not taught to do that just in life in general. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's kind of what Chrisette was hoping to get from Shantae. And I think she talked about that. She was like, we were able to get past our issues with each other when they went on that retreat that Shantae took them on, which is great. So I was glad to see some kind of healing where it's not like, you know, you this, you that, I'm jealous. And I hate when people say, oh, well, they just jealous. I'm like, no, it's deeper than that. Like, we should be able to be each other's friends. When I met Viola Davis, and I tell the story a million times, I was getting ready to interview her for The Help. And the press junket, and she was like, Madison? I was like, yeah. She was like, Madison Chase? I was like, yeah. She was like, were you in the Core Secrets Fitness DVD with Gunnar Peterson? I was like, yeah. She was like, oh my God, I'm gonna have to tell my husband I know you. I met you. You gonna tell your husband you know me? I was like, do you know how many times I'm gonna tell this story? And I'm telling it again. But I'm saying that to say that she paid honor to me, even though she didn't know me, and she didn't have to do that. But the fact that she was willing to say, I see you. I know what you're doing. I know what you're trying to do. And I appreciate that. So from that day moving forward, I am the hugest Viola Davis fan just because she appreciated and applauded another woman of color. And I think that's what Chrisette was looking for from Shantae. But it's sad that we're not socialized to do that as little girls. Like, we're already like competing against each other in looks. And that's kind of the way we're socialized. When I talked about the dude in the mugshot, like, he did some bad stuff, but people are like, oh, he look good. He could be a model for Calvin Klein. What? Because he look good?
I just don't see that bone in Shantae of being that type of person. Just like you guys, just like they talked about also with Shantae on how she brought the girl on stage.
Yeah, I was getting ready to get to that.
My thing is with Shantae does not have to do anything. She can come out there with an ugly dress on and sing, and we'll still go in. The girl she just has that energy singer on stage. Yeah. She's a wonderful singer. She's a I call her a violin, because you know how violin just souls makes you put you in a mode.
Yeah.
No, not just that, but soothing. A violin is very soothing. It's very could put you violin can put you in a mood.
Yes, it can.
And that's what I get from Shantae. She just like she walked out there with that ugly pantsuit on. I wasn't looking at the pantsuit. I was listening to her song.
Like she was coming from church. I was like, why y'all got a clown there in her outfit?
I mean, I think more maybe on part 2 we'll get to see that a bit more, and even with like we saw a little bit more of part 2 for the reunion of Lil Mo crying. I think everyone cried except everyone else. We got Lil Mo crying. We had Leela James crying. Stacy crying. I don't think no one on the left side of the crowd
they like, I'm over it. But I love, you were talking about, Wendy kind of touched on that, because I think I said that when I was with Bam. A lot of people, and Wendy called it, she was like, I think that, Leela and her performance with Teresa, it was heartfelt. I don't think she said that, but that's the way I felt. And Wendy said to Shantae, she was like, I felt like, and I'm sure y'all will correct me. She said, I felt like you were calling it in, kind of like it was a performance. And I totally agree with her. Like, you could see the connection in the friendship and the love with Leela and Teresa. Like, you could see it, you could feel it. Like, it was a spiritual thing. But with Shantae, even though she was dressed like she was coming from church, I felt like that young. I don't even think she looked at her one time. Like, she may have held her hand, but it was just like there was no connection. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, it's not for us to see. If that's her friend and she's saying that that's her friend, I'm gonna go by that. My thing is, tell me what you gonna say. I'm gonna believe it until you show me wrong.
Right.
I don't have to believe that. People don't have to believe that we have great chemistry, because we can leave here and we can curse each other out and not even talk anymore. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's about whatever we see. So I can only go by what we see. So and Leela and her friend may be stronger than
Shantae and her friend.
Those two.
And you're right.
I don't feel like Shantae is that type of person to sit back. I'm gonna show them up since they took me out the song.
And I'm not saying she was showing them up. I just felt like there was, and maybe because I can't imagine, because I have a friend and she lost a friend, and I remember her speaking at his memorial service, and I'm like, man, I don't think I could do that. And I don't think I could, because they were really good friends. And so I think, number one, because Shantae's friend was a survivor, so there's a difference. You know what I'm saying? That connection might be different. So maybe Shantae couldn't look at her. I don't know. And maybe they edited it that way so that it looked like it was kind of like Shantae was a little distant, because maybe she started the whole show and she was, straight looking at her. I don't know. Maybe she started the song that way, but it could be in editing. But I hear what you're saying, and I agree. But I thought that, because I was feeling like that, and then for Wendy to bring it up, I'm like, okay, so she saw it too. So I thought that was interesting. Then she brought up the Shantae and the 1%. Wendy straight called her out. She was like, yeah, I asked for everyone. And Wendy was like, no, you didn't ask for everyone. You asked for yourself.
I saw it.
But again, that's the editing. So I think perception is always somebody else's reality. So they're most people's perception. So I'm just curious, because I don't know, is everybody jealous of Shantae? Like, is that what the real underlying issue is? And I do think Shantae sings much better than Stacey. I'm just saying, if we had to, because they have...
Chrisette and Shantae are the singers.
Yes, I agree.
Lemo can sing, but it's just a moment for me. But that Shantae and that Chrisette, those are singers. Those are people that I go back to. Phyllis Hyman and Rochelle Farrell.
Wow. Rochelle Farrell is
Phyllis Hyman.
incredible.
Did I say Phyllis Hyman? Yeah, Phyllis Hyman, Rochelle Farrell, and all those type of people. Like, those are who I go back to. You know, Minnie Riperton. Like, those are the people I go back to. So those are singers to me. But, I mean, hey, who looked the best to you tonight?
Oh, yeah, we were going to hit that. I think as far as, like, overall outfit, I just think Chrisette is, like, absolutely drop dead, stunningly beautiful, gorgeous, and I love that she was simple. She was like, I'm going to be simple and pretty and pink.
Shiny-ass, beautiful legs, though.
Her legs, her lashes, her makeup, she's just got, like, a perfect face to me. Her eyes are, like, very almond-shaped. So as far as, like, the whole, and I'm kind of, like, a simple girl, too. I think less is more. So I think, for me, I liked her simplicity in the way she looked. I did like Shantae's hair, because I'm from Texas. I know you didn't like it. I like Shantae's hair. Her outfit was interesting. It was a little too shiny for me. I didn't like braves. Maybe if it was reversed, but I think gold, when her hair's gold, her face is gold, and then you got gold.
She looked like a trophy. She looked like an Oscar with a dress on. She did. Don't get me wrong, that brave is stupid fine.
Yeah, she's gorgeous.
And I just can't. The hair just looked nappy back here or something. Maybe it was just like dry and they didn't put a comb to it. But like from here down, it was banging. Like when she got up to give Leela James the tissue from crying about the situation after we saw the clip of her and her friend,
Teresa,
dealing with cancer or whatever. But she looked really, really good. I just think I agree with you with the whole from top to bottom with Chrisette. And to me, the reason why I feel like I can have an opinion on this is because
you said an interesting comment. I was like, all right, Cortez, you better pay attention to women.
No, I really do, because I think that women have a lot to do. You guys have a lot to do to walk outside of the house. Yeah. And it's not fair to you guys.
Right.
But when you do, and you do it well, and you do it to how it looks for you, you got me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So when it comes to Shantae and that hair, it was dry. It was dry. I didn't like Leela's 2-layer. It looked like it was a wig here, and then to put another wig there. I didn't like that.
Okay.
Shantae dress did look like it came from Party City.
You said Party City.
I love Michelle's shoes.
Yeah, I liked her whole look. Like she was doing something different, I think. Okay.
And then Braves from the bottom down is amazing. I just really, she would like, maybe she just like start dark here and then let it go light or something.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I think she needs to darken her hair.
But for a whole look and everything, most definitely Chrisette Michelle. Lil Mo was the most clean I've ever seen her.
Yeah. And
the
she's
most
pregnant
clean
too.
I've ever
I think
seen her.
that makes her have like a certain kind of glow.
Dang on good. And for that fact that she's, well, I think we're going to see this on part 2, guys. Is she says, that was my girly moment.
Yes.
I said, what? When she got the proposal, that was not that was not a girly moment. Lil Mo, you cannot be girly, and I think that we love that from her. Even when she's on this, when she comes here to AfterBuzz TV, she's herself.
She's herself.
She got on a fitted, some
glasses.
What do they call it? Oh Lord,
I don't know. I'm sure somebody will tell us. Yeah, so I think next reunion 2, they're gonna talk about Lil Mo trying to kill herself. I had no idea.
Yeah, they ended it with that, and I was shocked.
Yeah, I was like, man, but that's why I would think she would be a little more sensitive to Michelle. So thank you guys for watching AfterBuzz TV R&B Divas LA reunion part number 1. So if you want to use a hashtag on Twitter and YouTube, it's hashtag ABTVRB Divas. That's it. And I'm your girl, Madison Chase, and you can find me on Twitter at Madison Chase Fit, on YouTube, One Mad Chase. And how about you, Cortez G. West?
Well, first of all, comment on this video today, because I really like to see you guys comments, man. It really, like, when I read them sometimes, I even like when you guys let me have it. I'd be like, oh, yeah. I'm like, yeah. But yeah, like, comment, Madison, now, if you go back to the times we've been on the show, we always reply back to you guys. You guys are amazing. I love you guys' opinions. Thank you guys
for watching.
And your compliments as well. Thank you for that. You can find me on all social media as Cortez G. West, on your Twitter, on your Instagram, on your Facebook, same thing. Love it. Make sure you also follow us on AfterBuzz TV as well. We love your support. As I always say, we do not believe in fans, we believe in supporters.
Supporters.
Love you, dealers.
Thank you so much, you guys. We appreciate it.
Boom.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.